This was my first competitive road race. Going in, I had three goals: don't crash, finish the race, and soak up every bit of experience I could. So at the start line, I made what I thought was a smart move. I started from the very back. I figured it's it's better to be cautious and learn than to crash out trying to impress anyone, right? So the race starts with a neutral rollout. It was nothing crazy. Everyone was just getting warmed up. And then this is why I did my first mistake. While I was trying to put on my glasses, I dropped them. I was in panic mode. I had to stop, pick my glasses up, and then get on the bike. By the time I'm moving again, the main group was already gone. Now I'm chasing, burning everything I have just to get back. I'm going full gas at this time. My heart rate was through the roof, and I'm thinking to myself, this is not how it was supposed to go. I never caught the main group. I was a little bit disappointed by that, but I was also motivated a little bit as I found a small group that we could ride together from the back. Then we hit the first climb. This is the moment I started questioning my choices of coming to this race. I was absolutely finished. I did make up a few positions, I did pass a few people, but I was so much suffering. My legs were screaming. I was hurting so bad. I just couldn't imagine that I could suffer that much. The first climb is coming to an end, and now we have a descent. It was a small descent. I did not have much speed to carry through this descent, and I used it mostly to rest and rejuvenate myself, find some energy for the rest of the race. And then shortly, we have a second climb. It was steep, just like the first one. I was so exhausted. I tried my best to pace myself better this time and take it slow. Successfully, I did complete it well, but then I was still exhausted, just like the first one as I was. The rest of the course at this point was relatively flat, not so flat. but it involved a lot of pedaling. I had to do a lot of that pedaling in that sections before we hit the descent again. Those two climbs did scatter our back group a little bit. A few people did leave behind, others went ahead further who were strong on the climbs. And this sort of scattered our group into sometimes you find yourself alone and trying to catch up. For the long stretches, I did find myself riding alone on the first lap at least. And then I did try as much as possible to catch up with a few groups or a few people to try and maybe benefit from the draft. But unfortunately, I did not find a bigger group to do that with. On the first lap, mostly what I did was catching up, chasing and chasing. I had a target. I had a few cyclists ahead that I wanted to catch. There were a few cyclists ahead that I wanted to catch. That was my target most of this race. And my first lap was mostly about learning. I learned about the whole course, how it was like. I noted the climbs, the descents, the technical sections, and all those tricky sections that you need to keep an eye on. On the second lap, I did really improve a lot. This is the time that I felt like I have found my strength. And I really progressed on this one. I felt like I was finally racing and not just surviving. I started feeling like they should have given us the whole 3 laps that they had promised, and not just two. I did find a small group to work with. We were 4 of us, and we mostly did work together on the flats, the longer stretches. We worked together on the climb. Sometimes some of us did stick behind a little bit. The strong ones were ahead. We worked together most of the race, and until towards the finish where I had to change my camera battery, and that's where the group left me and I had to chase back. The finish was a little bit messier. Just before the finish, the race organizers stopped us to manually write down our race numbers. This was a less organized race than I had thought. We did not have race timing chips, and the route was shortened. We were supposed to do 3 laps. We ended up doing 2 of them. I mean, the whole thing was messier than I had thought. But no, it wasn't the finish that I had imagined. But honestly, I didn't care anymore. I had just completed my first road race, and that was the fun. That's what I wanted to do.